to my channel. This is Arlene. Today's video is going to be what I eat in a day. So for my breakfast today, I decided just to do some fruit. I had a late dinner last night and then a late snack, and I woke up. I've actually been up since about 5. It's about 8 o'clock now, so I haven't had anything yet. And I'm really not that hungry. And I've been eating a lot of egg omelets, you know, with the peppers and the onions and with potatoes. And I just wasn't in the mood for eggs. And yeah, so I decided just to do some fruit for this morning. I have a lot of work to do today, so I think I'm going to be busy. And I won't have food on my mind to where I'll be like, what am I going to eat next? You know, because this isn't such a filling meal with protein or whatever. So what I have here is just one small orange that I peeled. I have one, it was a small tiny banana, and about a cup of grapes. I have my one-a-day women's gummies that I take every morning. I take one of those and my bottle of water because I don't drink tea or coffee. And that's basically all I'm having for breakfast today. I'll show you what my lunch is going to be. And then for dinner, I am making a Instapot meal. So stay tuned for my lunch and for my dinner and for my snack tonight. But yeah, this is what I'm having for breakfast. Just a little fruit salad and 0 points. And thanks, if you're new here, thanks for tuning in. And if you're not, thanks for coming back. All right, so I'll see you all. Continue to watch. All right, guys, so for my delicious lunch today, I am making a pasta and chicken dish. And I'm using the Barilla whole grain spaghetti, which is 0 points on the plan. Perfectly al dente. To this, I have a bag of frozen zucchini that comes already chopped up like this. I'll just show you the bag. And I got this at Stop and Shop. I was like, oh, let me try it. So it's just sliced zucchini frozen. And what I did was I put it in this bowl and I just heated it up in the microwave for about 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm just going to dump that right in. That bowl is very hot. Now, I did drain out some of the water from the zucchini, but I did keep some in because I'm not adding any oil to this. So, I do want a little bit. I mean, I'll taste it. If I think it needs a little tiny shot of oil, I'll put a little bit in. But I really just wanted to keep this without oil. Next, I have my grilled chicken, which I put this steakhouse seasoning. I love this. It's really good. And it's just regular chicken breast that I cleaned and put the seasoning on. And I just cooked it in the air fryer. So I'm just going to chop this up into little pieces. Now, of course, this is going to be probably about 2 or 3 meals. I'm going to eat it for lunch today. I'll have it for lunch tomorrow. And so far, everything in here is 0 points on the purple plan. The pasta is 0 points. The chicken is 0 points. The zucchini is 0 points. Now, I have a whole bunch of fresh basil from my garden. And I have 1 clove of fresh chopped garlic. And it really does make a difference, guys, if you use the fresh garlic opposed to the garlic powder. And it does make a huge difference if you use the fresh basil opposed to dry basil. So I'm just going to give this a stir. I don't know, I haven't had pasta in a while, and I was craving it, and I said, you know what can I put in here and make that will be, you know, good and tasty? And I didn't even put any of the seasonings in here yet, because I put a lot of seasoning on the chicken, which now you could see the seasoning is coming off with the liquid from the from the zucchini. So I'm just going to give it a taste. If I think it needs more, a little bit of salt or black pepper, or maybe some more fresh garlic, I will let you know. But so far, I just loaded up the chicken on both sides with the steakhouse seasoning, and that's all the seasoning except for the garlic in here so far. Does need some salt, but right away you get that fresh basil, that delicious fresh chopped garlic. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, kosher salt of course, a little bit of black pepper, and I'm sure the longer this sits, you can eat this cold or you can eat it hot, but I'm sure the longer it sits, the more that garlic will permeate into the pasta. This is going to be my lunch, guys. Let me taste a piece of that. I got pepper all over my hands. I used all my tomatoes up, but if you had some fresh tomatoes from your garden, you can throw that in here. I mean, you can add anything, basically. You can even add some, you know, low-fat mozzarella cheese. Yep, that's it. Just that little bit of salt, little bit of pepper. So good. So actually, there's no oil in here. Everything in here is 0 points on the Purple Plan. I'm going to plate this up, eat my lunch, and then wait till you see what I'm having for dinner. And my dinner meal, my cat's crying to go out. My dinner meal I will be making in the Instapot, so stay tuned for that. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Arlene. Today for you I am going to be making an Instapot loin of pork with potatoes and with carrots. So I have my Instapot on saute right now. And I am going to be taking my loin of pork. Stop. Go out. Stop. I'm just placing it in. So this loin of pork I had purchased at a new store. I forget the name of it, but it's actually garlic herb. So it was already marinated. If you have a loin of pork that is not marinated, then you just definitely want to season it on all sides. And to this sauteed pork that I have in the Instapot, I'm going to be adding 1 jar of the beef gravy, and I'm going to drain the mushrooms and add the mushrooms. Now, when I did the points on the brown gravy, that's just jarred gravy, beef gravy from Stop and Shop, and it was 1/4 of a cup for 1 point. So when I make my meal, my plate up, I will be putting about 1/4 of a cup and charging myself 1 point for the beef gravy. I don't like mushrooms, so I'll be taking out the mushrooms and just eating the carrots and the potatoes and the loin of pork. So I'm adding some fresh white onion, and I'm smashing up a garlic clove and adding that. So as you can see, it's sauteing up nicely. And I didn't put any spices because that loin of pork was already garlic herb marinated. And it was really delicious. I think instead of buying just a plain loin of pork, I'm going to get those, get the garlic herb ones already, because it was really so tasty. Absolutely delicious. decided to put more garlic in. So basically it was 2 big giant cloves that I smashed and sliced up, and the onion. Garlic and onion makes everything taste so much better. If you're not used to cooking with it, you really should get yourself some fresh garlic, and of course, you know, sometimes I do use the, what do you call it, the frozen onions in the bag, but you know, that's just like for omelets or something in the morning. I like to have those peppers and onions already done, so I'll buy the ones in the bag frozen. Now I had 2 halves of a tomato in my refrigerator from when I you know, made a sandwich or whatever, and I had a half a tomato and stuck it in the refrigerator, and then when I used tomato again, I cut a new tomato instead of using the other half. So I was like, before they go bad, let me just throw them in the pot. So I'm just sticking the tomato in the pot. So far it's the sauteed loin of pork, fresh onion, fresh garlic, some tomato. Then I'm going to pour the gravy over it. And then the mushrooms, I'm going to drain all the water out of the jar of mushrooms. Now, of course, if you have fresh mushrooms, you can use them. I hate mushrooms, and I just happen to have that jar in my pantry. So I said, let me throw it in for my husband. He likes a mushroom gravy. But I picked them out. I don't eat mushrooms. So you don't have to go crazy with sauteing it, just enough to get the juices flowing, basically. So I'm just draining out the mushrooms now, and I'm going to throw that in. I have to do a voiceover. Yeah, so in went the mushrooms. And there goes the gravy. And that's just Stop and Shop beef gravy, and it was very thick. So what I did was I added a tiny bit of water and I shook it to get the rest of the gravy out of there. And that was it. And I put the lid on, and I put it on pressure cook. And it was delicious. But I also add some carrots and some potatoes after the meat is done cooking, because the potatoes and the carrots only take about 12 to 14 minutes, and the meat takes a little bit longer. So I'm putting the lid on. I'm still getting used to how to work this thing, but I'm loving the Instapot. So fast, so easy, and the flavors that get infused, it's like you don't lose any of the flavor of the food. Yeah, the ring seal, whatever you call that, wasn't all the way on. That's why it wouldn't go on. So you always want to check that. Yeah. But anyhow, what I was saying was, even my husband said, like, the carrots, like when you boil carrots in water, like they lose their flavor. Like everything is just so flavorful when you cook it in the Instapot. It really is. So I'm putting it on pressure cook for 20 minutes. And I'm going to let that go and cook. And then I'll show you how I do the carrots and the potatoes. Alrighty, so the 20 minutes went by. And I released the steam. And now I'm putting on, I peeled and washed a whole bunch of carrots, and I'm just putting them on top of the meat. They were so good. Oh, the carrots. I'm telling you, they just taste so, I can't explain it, but they were so, so good. And now I have these little red potatoes that I washed and scrubbed, and I'm just placing them in, and it doesn't even have to be inside the liquid. They're still gonna cook up beautifully with all of that steam and that pressure cooking there. And I believe I cut up another onion. And just put another onion on top. I'm going to seal it and cook it for another 14 minutes. And that's a meal in a pot. You have your delicious loin of pork. You have the beef gravy, which it actually turns into like a pork gravy because it takes on all the flavor from the loin of pork, and it doesn't even taste like beef gravy anymore. Plus the onions, the garlic, it has some of that flavor from the carrots. So the gravy was out of this world. And starting from a jar, you would never know it. You would think that it was homemade gravy, and it wasn't. So yeah, you got to try that. And it was only 1 point for 1/4 of a cup. But if you were to use like Heinz fat-free gravy, I believe it's 1/4 of a cup for 0 points. So I'm just looking to see what button. I was looking for a vegetable button. I didn't see a vegetable button. So I know 20 minutes is way too long, so I'm putting it down to 14. I believe I do 14. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just going to let that cook. And wait till you see how it comes out at the end. Absolutely delicious. I was so excited about this meal, guys. All right, so everything is done. I'm opening up the pot. And I'm going to first make my husband's nice big plate. And then at the end, I'll show you my portion size that I made for myself. And I'm charging myself 6 points. 5 points for the pork. And 1 point for the gravy. And the potatoes are absolutely perfect. They're not too mushy. They're not hard. They just pierce so beautifully. Absolutely perfectly done. The carrots were delicious as well. Don't get me wrong. They were out of this world, but they were softer. So if you don't like, you could do this in steps. You could cook the potatoes on top of the meat for 10 to 12 minutes or 12 to 14, then take them out and then do your carrots for another, say, 8 minutes if you don't like them really, really soft. But I did it 14 minutes for the carrots and the potatoes and the onions on top, and everything came out of this world. And the flavors are ridiculous when cooked with this Instapot. I am so excited about it. After I made this dinner, the next day I actually had to bring the Instapot back to my mom because she was doing a pork shoulder in it, because my brother does the pulled pork and makes a pork shoulder. So, yeah, this is my Instapot recipe for the week that I combined with this What I Eat in a Day video, because my mother has her Instapot back, but I will be getting it next week. And actually, today is what? Today is Wednesday when you're going to see this video. That's not when I did the taping of it. I'm doing the voiceover on Wednesday and posting it today. But I won't have my pot back until next Tuesday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, me and my mom are going upstate. So I will not be doing any videos for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I will be away. And when I drop my mom off, after we go away for the few days, then I'll get the Instapot back from her. But look at this meat. It just melted in your mouth. It pulled apart. It was just so delicious. I can't even explain to you. Look at that. Fall apart deliciousness. So, yeah, she said she's buying me an Instapot for Christmas. Which I was like, Ma, I could just buy my own. I had one on order that, you know, I can't. She goes, no, I'll get it for you. So I'm like, all right. So I can't wait to get my own that I have every day because I most likely will be cooking in it every day. I want to try to do some desserts in it. I want to try to do those hard-boiled eggs. Look at that. Now, that's my husband's plate. This Instapot loin of pork with the carrots, potatoes, mushrooms, and onions and garlic came out so freaking delicious. I can't even explain to you. All of it. The meat, the potatoes. Oh, can't you just smell it and taste it? I'm not kidding. And when you open up the pot or you release the steam out, the whole entire kitchen smells like so fragrant from all that goodness. I'm eating a carrot. Oh my God, so good. Delish. Really, really was good. Look at that. Perfect. So I'm going to make my plate and I'm going to show you what a 6-point loin of pork meal looks like. I did, I think it was almost 4.5, 5 ounces of the loin of pork. But it was very lean, very tender, no fat on it whatsoever. But I charged myself 5 points for the meat and 1 point for the gravy. The potatoes, the carrots, the onions was 0 points. So that was my beautiful meal for dinner. And, of course, I had to have my unsweetened applesauce with the pork. Yummo. So, for my snack for tonight is I'm going to slice up my apple. And I love apples, so I usually try to have an apple every night, you know, while I'm watching TV. And then later on in the night, like around 8:30, when I start feeling like a little bit hungry again, then I have my Built Bar. Now, this Built Bar is a coconut one, so good. And I eat them frozen. It's like a big, gigantic candy bar. And on the purple plan, it's 3 points. So, my breakfast was 0, my lunch was 0, my dinner was 6, and my snack is 3. So, actually, my whole entire day was only 9 points. I'm saving, so 4 of my extra points will roll over till tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going away for a few days to my cousin's house upstate, so I'm trying to rack up some extra points, and this way I can indulge when I'm up there, which I'm going to indulge anyhow, but I figure I might as well try to save some points while I'm at it. So yeah, so that is what I ate today. I hope you liked this video. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next video, and everybody have a great day. And thanks for tuning in, and hit that subscription button and the notification bell. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye now.